Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in your Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a setting that you guys need to be changing if you guys want to be able to hit a lot more shots, especially close range and box fight situations. I'm going to show you guys a setting that you guys should change that is going to really help you guys out when it comes to hitting your shots much more consistently, especially from close ranges. And real quick, before we get into the video, up on the screen I have the V-Buck giveaway winner of this week. I give away V-Bucks every single Friday, so if you guys want a chance to enter my next giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys a setting that you guys should change that is going to help you guys out a ton when it comes to hitting your close range shots against other players. So going into my settings, the specific settings I'm going to be focusing on in this video are going to be your building sensitivity and your editing sensitivity, and I want to explain to you how these two sensitivities, especially your editing sensitivity, is going to drastically improve your aim, because you guys might be thinking, how does editing sensitivity at all direct your aim? But I'm going to show you guys an exact reason and give you guys a very clear example on why if you have the wrong editing sensitivity, you are going to have a very bad accuracy, and you're going to be less likely to hit shots, and you're really not going to be as consistent as you want to be. So the building sensitivity that I had was a 1.9, and my editing was a 2. I like to be around a 2 to 2.1, but I like to mention again, when it comes to choosing your editing and building sensitivity, it directly correlates to your X and Y. So if your look and horizontal speed say on like a 63%, then your editing sensitivity is a multiplier to that 63%. So you're going to have a lot higher editing sensitivity on a 63% than if you are on like a 30%. It's going to be much slower on there, even though you have the exact same editing sensitivity. So when it comes to your editing sensitivity, it's going to vary depending on the sensitivity that you have. So for me, being on a 48% X and Y sensitivity, I do feel like a 2 to a 2.1 for me is very good. And then also keep in mind, I do play on 240 FPS. So some of you guys, it might be better to play on maybe like a 1.9 because you don't have as much control as before. But I want to show you guys exactly the specific reason on why your editing sensitivity is going to 100% affect your aim. So for instance, when you're editing, as you can see, if I'm going full speed, it's really all over the place. And for example, if you're going for an edit on a wall and your sensitivity is too high, because on a lower sensitivity, you have a lot more control. You can see exactly the movements that you're making. So when you have a very low or much lower, you don't have it too low, but if you have a lower side of editing sensitivity, the one big problem that I see a lot of people have when they play on high sensitivity is going to be overcorrection, and this is going to drastically affect your aim. So for instance, right, say you're editing a wall and you play on high sensitivity. By the time you're usually going to be finishing your edit all the way on the upper right. So if you're editing up to left, as you can see, you're going to be all the way, you're going to overcorrect all the way over to the side, meaning that the further you overcorrect to the side, the harder you have to flick shot and able to hit the other players. And here I have it slowed down so you guys can see exactly what I mean. So say you play on a high editing sensitivity, what's going to happen after you finish off the edit, you can see that after I finish the edit, I'm all the way over to the side, meaning that if I want to shoot the other player after I go for the edit, I'm going to have to flick shot all the way back over to the other player, versus if you're on a low editing sensitivity, after you finish off that edit, you're not going to be overcorrecting as much, and if you have to make any sort of adjustments to hit the other player, it's going to be very small, and you're going to be able to hit the player much easier than before. And there's also another really good strategy that I use to allow me to hit shots, but that's basically the concept of having a lower editing sensitivity, because the biggest problem is overcorrecting, because the harder you have to flick shot, or the further distance that you have to flick shot, the harder it is to hit the other player. And just give you guys kind of like a out there example, say if you had a flick shot just like a couple feet, it's not going to be that hard, versus say you have to flick shot, you whip a quick 180 all the way behind you. It's going to be very difficult to hit that flick shot on a high sensitivity. So you want to make sure that your flick shots are as concise as possible. And one really good tip to help you guys out as well to, I guess, minimize the length of flick shot that you have to make is what I'm going to show you guys right here. So when you're editing, say you're editing the bottom 3 squares here in this example, the way you want to edit, so you can either edit down or you can either edit up. Now you always want to edit upwards, and the reason for this is, as you can see, for one example, if you edit down, you can see how if you're in a box fight, your FOV is even worse. So if you edit downwards, you can see that your FOV is kind of concealed in. You can't really see as much, versus when you edit up, you have a much higher FOV. You can see way more above you. And on top of that, when you edit all the way down, you have to flick shot a lot harder than when you edit up. Because as you can see, when I'm editing up, if the other player is on the other side of that wall, it's going to be a very easy or minimal adjustment to hit the other player. Versus when you flick down on your edits, when you go downwards, you have to flick all the way up. And especially a lot of times in box fights, people are going to be jump shotting, meaning that if you edit downwards, you're going to have even greater flick shot to hit the other player. So when you're making this wall edit, every single time you want to edit going upwards, unless maybe you're like tunneling and you just like prefer editing down. But if you're going for an edit to shoot the other player, every single time you want to edit the wall going upwards, because it is going to allow you to hit the shot much easier. Just because for the example that I made, when you edit downwards, you're going to have less FOV because you're going to be looking at the ground, so you're not going to see the top of the box. And on top of that, you're going to have to make a greater flick shot. So if you edit down and the other player jumps up, so basically you're looking down and the other player is going up, so you have to flick shot even greater just to hit the other player. So every single time that you make that wall edit on the bottom 3 squares, you always want to edit in the upwards direction, because it's going to, I guess, even if the other player jump shots, it's going to, I guess, follow that direction, and it's going to be a lot easier to hit the other player, and you're not going to have to make such a flick shot just to hit them, which is going to make you a lot more accurate. So when it comes to your editing speed, the way you edit has a direct impact on your ability to aim, because the way you edit can either help you or it can hurt you when it comes to hitting your flick shots, because it can make it so much harder to hit the other player if you edit facing downwards versus you edit going up, or just the type of edit you go for. And if you have a very high sensitivity, you can overcorrect and you have to flick even harder just to hit the other player. So editing speed actually has a direct correlation on your ability to aim, which a lot of people, or maybe a lot of you guys, haven't thought about, because when it comes to your editing, you just focus on, if you're able to edit a wall very quickly. But at the same time, if you're constantly overcorrecting your edits, it's going to be much harder. I mean, you still might be able to hit your shots, but it's going to make it difficult. And in the game, you always want to make hitting shots as easy as possible. So maybe playing on a little bit lower editing sensitivity can be the way. And here are just the rest of the settings if you guys were curious and wanted to see the rest of it. I was just basically focusing on building an editing sensitivity. And the only thing I changed was my dead zone. I raised my right stick dead zone, or my look stick dead zone, up a little bit because I was having a little bit more stick drift than I wanted. So 11% and 10%. And for foot controller, you want to have, if you want to focus on aim, you want to have the foot controller setting off. The reason I had it on because I was practicing my building and editing. And the reason, okay, so for foot controller, basically if you have it on, it makes everything more linear. And if you have it off, it makes it so you can make those small analog stick movements a lot more precise. So if you're focusing on aim, specifically you want to improve your aim, I highly recommend having this setting off. But if you're just like a creative warrior who's focused on building and editing, I would recommend having this setting on. So that's just my suggestion when it comes to foot controller, and that's why I had it on when I was making this video, because I was just focusing on my editing. But if you want to focus strictly on your aim, it is much better of a setting to have this off than to have it on. So that's just my opinion. And I usually do have this setting off when I play pubs, but when I'm just practicing my building and editing and creative, going for a bunch of free builds, I do usually have this setting on. So real quick, I just want to focus on the building aspect because I was talking about editing. So real quick with the building, the same thing can apply. So if you're building and you have like a really high building sensitivity, obviously it's not going to be as close quarter, because when it comes to editing, the other player, presumptively is going to be right in front of you. But when you're building, it could be more like you're building for high ground, you're going for a quick flick shot. So having an extremely high building sensitivity can cause you to overcorrect as well. But building sensitivity isn't as important as editing when it comes to your accuracy. So that's why I was specifically talking about the editing sensitivity, overcorrecting, and just that one tip specifically when it came to editing. You want to make sure you edit up, because that really is going to improve your accuracy a ton with hitting your shots. So with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys found this video very helpful. And if you guys could, make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to watch me play solos on live stream, definitely come by. Like I said, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every single day here on this channel. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.